Hi, I'm Renee, and today is day 14 of 21 days of prayer. I'm going to be talking to you today about the God of miracles. Hebrews 13:8 says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And when we pray for a miracle, we are asking God to do something that's beyond our human ability, totally out of our control, but it's something that will bring all glory and praise and honor to God. I like to call it an only God moment. Only God could heal my marriage. Only God could have healed me from this sickness. Only God could have opened this door and made a way because there was no way. We see a story like this in the Bible in the book of Mark, chapter 10. Chapter 10, verse 47 says, He began to shout, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. And many rebuked him and told him to be quiet, but he shouted all the more. And as the story goes on, you see that blind Bartimaeus did not give up. He was not the only one there that was sick and that was begging, but he was one of the ones that did not give up. He kept shouting, and he got Jesus' attention. And Jesus said, bring him to me. And when he did, he stood up and he threw off the cloak that he had on. And he ran to Jesus and asked him to heal him and let him see again. And Jesus said, your faith has made you whole. There are 4 things that I want to point out from this story today. And the first one is faith has a vocabulary. Blind Bartimaeus did not say, Son of Mary, Son of Joseph. He used a title that revealed that he knew that Jesus was the Messiah. He knew that Jesus was the healer and the deliverer, the one that was opening blind eyes, the one that was unstopping deaf ears. And when we want to see a miracle in our life, we have to have a vocabulary of faith. We need to be declaring who Jesus is and what we know he is able to do regardless of the situation. The second thing that we can learn from this story is great faith frees people from pride. What would it be like to be freed from your pride? Blind Bartimaeus, he was rebuked by those people, and he just kept shouting. When they said, be quiet, he shouted louder. And sometimes we need to remember to put aside our pride and not worry about what people think. We need to press on and focus on Jesus. And what does Jesus say about me and not what other people think? The third thing that we can learn from this story is that great faith casts off what needs to be left behind. Beggars in that day would sit on a large cloak, and they would use it as a mat during the daytime, and at nighttime they would wrap up in it as a blanket. Can you imagine how filthy that piece of cloth was? It was there for years, used to be laid on in the streets. And I look at that as a picture of our broken past, as a picture of our pain, and as a picture of our sin and our baggage, all the things that we carry. But Hebrews 12:1 says, throw everything off that hinders you and run the race that is set before you. What do I need to cast off today? What do I need to leave behind? If you were running a race, you wouldn't carry luggage with you. You wouldn't carry baggage with you, but you would set that down and you would run the race. And so great faith casts off what needs to be left behind. Leave behind those thoughts that tell you you can't be used by God and that he can't do a great miracle in your life because of something you've done in your past. Cast that aside and run the race that God has for you. The last point that I see that we can learn from this story is number 4, great faith has a behavior. I ask myself, and you can ask yourself today, what is my behavior? Am I pressing forward? Am I seeking and knocking and looking for God to do something great? I don't want to let people or even delays in my story keep me from reaching out to Jesus. I don't want to let anything stop me from believing that God is still able to do something great in my life. I want to believe again. I want to pray again. I want to sing again and rejoice again and worship again. I want to have a behavior of faith. And I know that you do too. Something that reminds us, Hebrews 13:8, that Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, not just in this Bible story, but yesterday, today in your life, and forever. He is the same. He is still the God of miracles, and He is someone that you can reach to, someone you can still trust and count on. So I thank you for listening today. Hold on to this faith. Believe in the God of miracles today, because He is still able to do exceeding abundantly above all we can ask or think. Thank you for listening today, and I hope that you have an awesome day.